Yesterday I was talking a little bit about the idea of methods that don't necessarily return void, methods that return information back to the program, and also introducing the idea that some of the things, or a lot of the things that we've been using all the way through the semester are indeed methods of other classes. Introduced you a little bit to the math class yesterday. Today I want to show you a couple of things that the string class is built to be able to do, things that we haven't necessarily used so far. Now, something that we have done over and over again throughout the course, of course, you guys know how to write a program that puts up a little prompt like enter your name and allows the person to type in their name. And we've used this before. If name dot equals, and then something that you want to compare if they're the same. So if the name is Baumeister, then I want to print out best computer science teacher ever. Or if it's not equal to Baumeister, system data.println. You really should take Baumeister's. Need my semicolon at the end of that line. So equals is the name of a method that takes a string as a parameter. It's from the string class, so you can apply it to any strings. Guys, put the phones away. If I have a string variable, I can just go dot equals, and I can use that method to test if my variable name is equal to the string Baumeister. Now, of course, if I ran that, what error do I have in there? If I ran that, it's not going to work right now because I have an error there. Get back to that later. If I ran that and I type in the name Baumeister with a lowercase b, that's not going to match exactly with Baumeister with an uppercase B, and that's unfortunate because you really should be taking Baumeister's course. But what if I want them to match? Is there a different method I can use that says, like, okay, doesn't matter what capitalization you use, if the word is the same, the word is the same. And we've seen that one a few times as well. If I say equals, not just equals, but equals ignore case, whatever you type in as Baumeister should get matched. That's another method that goes with the string class. Let's put in some other capitalization there. Right. You can spell my name however you want. It's still my name, best CS teacher ever. Some other handy things that string class can do. What if you want to know how many letters a person typed in? There's a method for that. Name has and name dot length is a method that says, please count up for me how many letters there is. Now I don't need to put a parameter to say, like, what am I counting the letters for? How does it know what it's counting the letters for? Because I said in the variable name dot length, count up the letters. So in the variable name, count up the letters. And that is going to return some information to me. It doesn't have a void response. It responds with a count, an integer. How many letters is that? For on that, need a semicolon at the end of the line. From that afterwards. Enter name. Baumeister. Baumeister has 11. I suppose I should have said letters. Baumeister has 11 letters. All right. There are also a couple of different methods to be able to access and do things with individual letters within the string. Right? So if I'd like to know what's the first letter, there's a method for that. What's the ninth letter? There's a method for that. In fact, they're the same method. What's the character at? And then I can say a location in the string that I'm interested in. So I could do something like system.out.println the first letter is name, the name of my string variable, dot character at. I need to give the character or the index of the location I'd like to know something about. The index is is it the first character, second character, third character, like that, right? Something you need to know in Java, we always start counting at 0. So the first level is the first letter is character at 0. Second letter, character at 1. Third letter, character at 2. Yeah, it's a bit weird. Computer science has some idiosyncrasies like that. We always start our counts at 0. Right, okay. Enter name. Baumeister, best science teacher ever. Baumeister's 11 letters. First letter is capital B. If I said, what's character at 5? That will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 6th letter of Baumeister. It's not the first letter anymore. It's the character at 5. B is 0, O is 1, U is 2, W is 3, M is 4, even though it looks like the 5th letter. Then E is the character at 5. Yeah, Ivan. Excellent question, and let's find out. Right, Yvonne asked, what happens if I put a shorter name, like Yvonne? Doesn't have character at 5. What do you think's going to happen with my program? Will it return blank, as in there is no character there, or will it crash? Yeah, that's going to crash. So you would want to check, if you were writing a bigger program, you would want to check, okay, is there enough characters in this string? Are they all here before I start trying to go individual characters at a particular location? I want to make sure there's something there before I try to do that.
So could you just try and break the code, or would you just make another else statement?
I would probably do something like if name.length is greater. What would I want? 5 is less than name.length.
Mr. Brady, please contact the main office. Mr. Brady, please contact the main office.
Then I could be assured that I can do that. Let's try that with character 3 would be the N in Yvonne. Tell me the character at 3 would be the 4th letter. So right at the end of Yvonne, 4th letter is N. That's okay. But if I did something even shorter, like Bob, Bob does not have a character at 3 because it's 0, 1, 2. But I've checked to make sure that, okay, is that going to work before I'm printing that? and I reran it. I didn't let it go. I go, Bob. Bob has 3 letters, but I didn't try to find out what the 4th letter is because there wouldn't be a 4th letter. So I would just protect my character at with an if statement to make sure there could actually be that character. For doing that. Wanted to try to write a couple of not too difficult methods with the string class. What if I wanted to take whatever name got typed in and print that 1 character per line? I want to go through every character in the word and print each one out on a single line. So I'll need the character at method to decide the character for each line. And I'll need the length method to know how many times I should go through this loop. All right, so I would like to write that as a method. Print vertical, whatever name got typed in. Print vertical, write the given string, which I'm calling MSG for message, vertically, 1 character per line. To do that, I need to loop through each character in the string. I can write a counted loop for that. For integer I, starts at 0, as long as I is less than the message length, and count by ones. System.out.print ln the message character at I. First time through the loop, I is going to be 0. Print the character at 0. Second time through the loop, I is going to be 1. Print the character at 1. Third time through the loop, the character is going to be, or I is going to be 3. Print the character at 3. Keep going until you reach the length of the whole message. Should give me my message. And because I did print ln, 1 character per line. Enter a name, Frank. Frank has 5 letters, F-R-A-N-K, each individually to a line. So combining, knowing the length of this string with being able to pick out individual characters. One more sort of test method here. Check to see if a given word starts and ends with the same letter. My method is not going to be returning void in this case. Right? I want to know if a word begins and ends with the same letter. And the answer to that question is a true or a false. Does this word, does the end match the beginning in this word? For now, I just have returned false so that I can run my program, but I want to actually make that choice. Well, I'd like to know what is the character that's the first letter of this word. That's word.character at 0. And I'd also like to know what's the last letter of this word. That's the character word.character at word.length. Okay, but I got to think for a second. Word.length, if I put Bob, that has a length of 3, but the last letter is not character at 3. It's 0, 1, 2. It's the character at 2. I want the word length -1 to get the last character. And I want to know if the first character is equal to the last character. With characters, I can compare them with equal, equal. With strings, I would need to use dot equals. And because that method is returning a Boolean, this is either true or false, I can use it in an if statement. If does end, what did I call it exactly? Does end match beginning? Match beginning in the name. I don't know. A name starts and ends the same. Otherwise, no, it doesn't. A name doesn't end like it starts. Enter a name. Baumeister. That name, that's supposed to say doesn't end like it starts because B is not the same as R. But on the other hand, Bob should be, that has 3 letters. That name doesn't end like it starts because those are capital B versus lowercase b. Bob. That name starts and ends the same. Just wanted to give you a fast taste of some of the methods that are available for strings. But in today's assignment, going to be asking you guys to write a program that uses a few different methods for strings. Oh, how do you find out the length of a string? How can you output the string that you created into all capital letters? How can you find the nth character, as in the 5th character or the 6th character of a string? How can you find the index of the first fill in the blank here? What's the index of the first W in Baumeister? W is 0, 1, 2, 3. Index number 3 in my name because it's the 4th letter. Eric's going, wait, isn't it 4? Yes, 4th letter. Index number 3, because you got to start counting at 0. Going to have to think a little bit more for the last couple ones. How can I take a string and write it backwards? Will require you to do a little bit of work programming wise to take the string, reverse all the characters, and write it out backwards. Think about the loop that I did for going vertical. You could adapt that to write backwards. How can I replace all of the vowels that are in the string with an underscore character? How can I figure out if the string is a palindrome? What is a palindrome? Right? Is the word spelled exactly the same forwards and backwards? If you make a really nice method for displaying the string backwards, you could use that to answer that question. Right, so a couple different methods for you to think about and to create. Going to ask you to use methods from the string class to finish those methods. Where can I learn information about methods that are in the string class? I gave you a file in the content section of the website that has some of the methods for the string class. Some of the things that you can write, name of your variable, dot, character at, compare to, ignore case, equals, index of, length, tells you what they do. And also if you want to get the details from the entire, all the Java methods that you could possibly have for the string class, gave you a link to the documentation. If I just open that up in a new tab, here's Java telling you, this is all the things that a string can do. So if there's something you want to be able to do to finish writing that program, you'd be able to look it up either on the page that I summarized for you or the full Java help file.